video on using up this juice that I got out of the panzanella salad. So I made a panzanella salad. I took out the seeds from the tomatoes and the seeds from the cucumber, and then pureed that down. Then I used that juice to marinate the chopped up cucumber and the chopped up tomatoes. I didn't need all the juice that came out of it because I didn't want the salad to be too wet. But now I am left with this delicious juice, and it's about 340 grams worth of it, something like that. So I'm tempted to stick it in a cocktail because I think that would make an absolutely delicious Bloody Mary. But we'll do that in the future. We'll have a faff around with making a Bloody Mary. I was always put off Bloody Marys in the past because it was always horrible tomato juice and then just vodka. Not very nice. But I think we can make a really nice one, and we can kind of use that as a base. So I'll have a play around with that sometime in the future. And then I was kind of thinking, well, what we'll do is I'll just turn it into a soup. I've been to yoga, I'm hungry, and the soup seems like a good idea with some nice toast. The temptation will be, because it's tomato, to make a tomato soup, but I'm not going to do that. I've just got some onions in the house, so I'm just going to make my onion and tomato-ish kind of soup. So that's 700 grams worth of peeled onions. Don't need to soften them or anything like that. I'm not going to put any stock cubes in because the juice is already kind of quite salty. So we're just using the onions as a bit of a base. I bought the onions for something else at the weekend, but I never made that. I made something else instead. So these onions don't need using up, but it's better off that we use them while we've got them before they start deteriorating. So onions are mostly water, so we'll see what kind of yield we get out of this. I can't remember what the yield is for a straight onion soup. Well, not a French onion soup, but like a white onion soup. And we'll add some milk to it as well, and then we'll get a creamy soup. Even though it's summer, I still want a creamy soup. So it looks like there's loads of onions in there, but lots of juice will come out of them, and you'll be surprised. And it'll still be a nice consistency of a sauce on the floor, but that's fine. So up to boil, slow simmer, with a lid on, because there's no point having things evaporating. With a lid on, it'll cook quicker and it'll save some of that juice. And then we'll see what it turns out like. I think it'll be really nice. Right, so they are tender. I'm certainly going to add some milk to that, so we're going to put in 200 millilitres of milk, and then we'll give it a puree. We'll give it a puree, and then we'll give it a taste, and then we'll see if it needs any stock cubes. Probably does. See how that tastes now, and then we'll see what we need to add. Right, it certainly needs, hopefully that's not going to fall over. It wants to though, doesn't it? Let's just put it on something. So it certainly needs 2 stock cubes, and it'll need a little bit more liquid in it as well. So we've made quite a substantial amount of soup actually, and it's just come out a lovely rose pinky colour. So it certainly needs that, and it certainly need a bit of pepper, and then we'll just boil up a little bit of water. Then so we'll just add up a little bit, boil it up, we'll just make it go into the soup a lot easier. So puree those in. See, stick blenders are alright, but if the thing they're blending is a little bit too thick, they're not going to puree them. They'd have to be extremely powerful to puree something like that into a fine puree without enough liquid in. So we just need to add a little bit more liquid. About that much. So, I don't know what that was. 100 millilitres. There we go. So this, I was thinking about this, and this video is more a case of using up kitchen waste. That's lovely. It just needs a little bit more salt. We won't put another stock cube in. We'll just put a little bit more salt. And then use the blender to whisk that in. That'll be done. So, we don't bang plastic on metal, we bang plastic on our hand just to get rid of that bit of soup off there, and then we need to see how much soup we've got. So, into the jug, and then we'll get an idea of what we've got. So, we've got 1.2 litres of soup. Yeah, 1.2 litres of soup. There we go. So, for the sake of 4 onions, and a couple of stock cubes, and a bit of milk, with 4 decent sized, well, 3 really generous portions of soup, and what we call it, and like a really cheap lunch for me. So there we go. A video on not wasting a thing, therefore a success.